Don't you close? It's so boring. Boring. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Good morning. It's our start time, so I don't want to keep those of you. I think we have about another 6 or 7 persons who should be here, but I'd like us to get started. My name is Ian Fernander. and I am going to lead this course for us over the next couple weeks. Today, I won't burden you with a lot of course material. I will tell you though that you will leave today with an assignment, so it won't be a completely lazy day. I do have a realm of things that we are going to do today, and one of them is to do an introduction of the persons who are here. So I am going to put up on the screen what we're going to do today, and fortunately it won't be 3 hours, so it won't take up this Saturday. In fact, I probably have to repeat this. I really don't intend to use the 3 hours that we have slotted for this on a daily on the Saturdays. That I only see happening if we have some group presentations, and even then, we try not to use the 3 hours. I see it more as being a 2-hour session. We may go over a little bit, but I really, being a lecturer for several decades and a student for all my life, I always had a problem with these 3-hour sessions that some professors try to go on, and I'm not one who's too keen on that. So we're looking at about 2 hours normally, and if something else happens, we may go over a little bit, we may even go under. We're going to do what's necessary for the time. I probably again have to mention this again, but what we will do is have 1 or 2 sessions in person. Particularly, we'll have some chances where you'll be doing some group work, and in those cases, we'll be putting together presentations because you're talking about an area of performing, where being able to stand in front of persons and deliver material is a part of what's important in the area. And so I'd love to be able to have at least 1 session that gives you the opportunity to interact face-to-face with persons. And those will likely not be lectures. There'll be things where you've been given a presentation and asked to come and stand in front of an audience and do something. While I give a few others a minute or so to come, let me call up what I would like for you to prepare, and so that you can, maybe those of you who are early, you can get a jump on it and start to think about it. I'm going to do the share screen thing. Okay, I'm going to leave it at the at the place where you have to think about material that you're going to share with us. I'll leave it on number 3 for now. Okay, it's 6 minutes after. I'm going to presume that we can start. And I am going to start with, everyone can see the share screen? Yes. Okay, so what I would like is, you don't have to keep your video on, but I certainly would like, when anyone is speaking, that they speak on camera. I know sometimes when everyone turns on videos, it gives the video, the feed of the whole session a bit of a challenge. But it's your choice as to whether or not you want to keep your video on. But certainly when you're speaking, I require that you have your video on for sure. I am going to start by talking about, let me go to the top. A brief introduction to the course. Its history and its goals. Fortunately, we have for this course a textbook that took over a year to produce. And the fortunate thing about it is this course is originally taught by Miss Gating McLean, who some of you may know, and some of you may know recently passed away. In fact, she passed away on the day that she invigilated the last final exam of this certification course to her last class. Ms. McLean never had the opportunity to see her book, but the book is now actually came on the island the day after her interment. And it is a very wonderful book. I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I'm the person who would have worked on that book for Ms. McLean. It really captures a lot of what you would need as a foundation to your career in property management. In terms of the course, this is a property management course, not to be confused with project management, not to be confused with real estate. And if we're going to be simplistic about it, this is a course that puts you, and the Institute is a body that the Bahamas, one of the few bodies in the country that the Bahamas has given the ability to support a certification. So when you get a certification from this course, and it would be hard to get, but when you become a certified property manager under this course, it is a full-fledged certification accepted in the Bahamas as a certification. But more importantly than that, this is a course that will put you in a position, should put you in a position for a career in property management. And while we'll talk a bit further during the course, obviously, as to what that means, as opposed to being a real estate agent who is responsible for bringing buyers and sellers of property together, a property manager is someone who is responsible for a host of things, but one of the main things is for taking care of the business of a property owner. And that is that means all sorts of things. And as you get into this course, you'll find out what that means. So the property manager is someone who takes care of the property business of a property owner. And in many cases, that means what? It means taking care of the tenants or the users of the property, taking care of the property itself, making sure that the owner's interest in the property is highlighted. What are the owner's interest in the property? Most people have property because they want to make a return, especially investors. And so the property manager is concerned about how do I make sure that this owner gets his just due from this property. How do I make sure the property is taken care of? How do I make sure that the property has the best tenants? How do I make sure the tenants are happy so that they happily pay the rent, and so forth and so on. So the property manager, unlike the real estate agent, is not typically involved, or they can be. They're not involved in focusing on there's a property, I need to get it sold. I need to bring a buyer and a seller together. That's not what the property manager is doing. The property manager is as you will see in the course, a vast array of things that the property manager is doing. While I'm here, let me also mention that the books are available at the Bahamas Institute of Financial Services, and you really must get a copy of the book because a lot of your assignments, you're going to need to reference the book, and the book is a great resource for you, period. It is a textbook, so it is pricey like textbooks are, but it does contain, it's chock full of information relative to this course and relative to your knowledge and career in property management. I have, secondly here, introduction of course coach, which is me. My name is Ian Fernando. I hate talking about myself, but I have just retired from the Central Bank of the Bahamas after almost 40 years of being there. I'm on my more recent, I'll start off by talking about my employment career. I'm on my most recent activities. My last post, I was the capital development manager at the bank. And what does that mean? I was responsible for the development of capital resources. And capital resources are people, places, or property, and value, finances, and so forth and so on. So that was my last station. Before that, I performed for well over a decade as the administration manager for the central bank, and the responsibilities there were vast. And when I say vast, I mean vast. But related to this course, and I mentioned some of the responsibilities, I was responsible, reporting to me would have been the facilities department, facilities upkeep and maintenance, they reported to me. I would have been responsible for risk management for the central bank. What does that mean? We'll talk a bit further about that in the course, but that's looking at things like business continuity, looking at things like security, information security, looking at things like insurance, and so responsible for all those sorts of things. That's risk management. Responsible at one point for our numismatic program, which is our program where we create and disseminate precious metal coins or precious metal currency. Responsible for the dormant account system, the country's dormant account system, which is the system where persons who lose connection with their bank funds for, as the law says, over 7 years, those funds are taken under the protection of the central bank for very good reasons, and I was responsible for that program. Responsible for corporate services. So corporate services was, we had a cafeteria program or food services program, so they reported to me. We had a logistics program, which is our delivery and pickups and movement of people and things. That unit reported to me. And I could go on, but the responsibilities there were vast. I was responsible for procurement. So all procurement of all goods and services for the central bank fell under my responsibility. Goods, services, and works. And I always need to put that last thing in. So whether we were buying something as simple as a pen or buying something as complicated as a new air conditioning system for the bank, or whether we were doing a major repair to the facade of the bank, or redoing the parking lot and all of that fell under me. I was responsible for contract management. So all contracts with the central bank would have fallen under my remit. So that's the creation of contract arrangements, the management of those arrangements as well. So whether that's the janitorial contract, whether that's a contract for someone to come in and do a 1-day service of a pump, whatever the contract was, whether it's a contract for someone to build a kiosk in the parking lot, or a contract for someone to do major refurbishment and repairs of one of our buildings, because the Central Bank owns several buildings. So that's a bit of me in terms of employment. Outside of that, I've had, while I've worked at the Central Bank since I was 16, I've also worked doing quite a number of other things, never one-dimensional. And I always say to persons like yourselves, you really ought to think of not having a one-dimensional employment life. It is really to your best advantage to have a multi-dimensional employment life. I always saw myself as self-employed, although I worked with one person for 40 years. I never saw them as my employer. I saw myself as a self-employed person who's contracting my services to the Central Bank for 40 years. And I always encourage persons to kind of see themselves in that light, as opposed to seeing yourself as belonging to some institution. All resources belong to you. And if you start to see yourself as a self-employed person, even if you work for someone for 40 years, like I did, you will find that your mindset allows you to be a hybrid employee, like I was. So some of the things that I did, I have run a publishing company, which is how I got associated with Ms. McLean and her book for the last 25 or so years, and have produced scores of books, all Bahamian books. I specialize in doing biographies and autobiographies. So for example, I would have done the life story of Sir Clement Maynard, Alfred Sayers, Reverend Charles Smith, and so on and so forth. I also obviously have done textbooks. I like doing stuff that are difficult and challenging, and the type of work that I do as a publisher emanate that. I've also run a newspaper, but that was when I was in university in New York City. I used to be editor-in-chief of the Bahamian Banker for about 6-7 years. And so I've worked in that arena as well. In terms of professionally, I've worked as a musician. So from my earliest days, I've worked as a musician. It's just in my recent decades, I've not. But I have played with bands, including High Voltage, who became Bahamian, and Soulful Groovers, and Lynx Band, and a number of bands like that. But I do have a preference, being this shy guy, of I don't particularly like playing in bands. I have actually played piano bar in the Bahamas and in New York. So that's a bit of I run a farm. That's another thing I do. I've done that for a long time, and on and on and on. Like I say, if you see yourself as a person that is not someone who's going to be shuffled into the employee line and paid a particular amount of money every month to come back, and so forth and so on, you'll be amazed by what you can do if you see yourself as a self-employed person. Okay, we are supposed to have, I don't know if they're on the call, and if they are, they can let me know. It's kind of difficult to see everyone on a call like this. But one way as a lecturer that I love to do is that enough to have a lecturing team? And so we actually going to do these next 12 weeks with a team of colleagues for me. I've never met any of them. In fact, just kind of onboarded them in the last couple hours yesterday. But I find these two young people to be enthusiastic, and what we're going to do is work together as a team to deliver the course material. There may even be another person or two added to the team, and I think it lends a sense of makes the delivery very dynamic to have different mindsets contribute to the course material in terms of its delivery. Is Jonique or Lamar here on this call? I take the silence to mean no. Okay, so let's dive right in and to the introduction of yourselves. And notice I call you colleagues. It's not lost on me that everyone here is an adult. And I have no expectations that anyone will act otherwise, and I certainly will respect you right off the bat as adults. Because of that, let me start with myself. Please let me know how you'd like to be addressed. I like to be addressed by my name. My name is Ian. But there are some persons who need to be addressed in other ways, and I would certainly want to respect however you want to be called. So if you want to be called, I see someone named Marjorie Thomas, if you want to be called Miss Thomas or Mrs. Thomas or whatever you want to be called, please send me a note so I can know how to, we all could know how to address you so you don't get bent out of shape. But I am fine with Ian, that's my name, and that's how I prefer to be called. So let's start, and I'm gonna go down a list. Let's start, I'm gonna do this sort of democratically, a bit democratically. Let's start alphabetically by first names. And if you're here, you can speak up. But first, let me, in case someone isn't able to see the screen, let me talk about what I would like you to do. So in your introduction, and you may want to take notes so you can do this. I want you to talk about who are you, which I think all of us at this point could say a little bit about who we are, starting with your name, obviously. And B, what do you do? What are your skill sets? What do you think is your skill sets? So I deliberately put those two questions there because they seem to be the same thing, but they're not. Because some people like to say, when you ask them, what do you do? They tell you where they work. Or they tell you, I'm a lawyer, for instance. But you tell me that you're a lawyer doesn't tell me what you're good at. It doesn't tell me what you actually do, because there are some lawyers who they only understand property conveyance. I'm using the lawyer for an example. So, or you tell me you're a medical professional. Your medical professional means you could be a nurse, you could be a doctor, and if you're a doctor, you could be a doctor who only understands toes, and another one only understands eyes, whatever. So what do your skill sets really mean for me? If I were to answer this, I would say my skill sets are that I'm creative and I love to solve problems and take on challenges that require serious work, and I'm good at that. What is your dream job, or what is your dream activity? And my dream job and dream activity, I don't know if I've done it yet, and that is, I'm kind of involved in that. My dream job is to have a job where I am actually educating young children in their most formative years to be able to survive, not to learn math and English and those kind of things conventionally, but to learn life skills. That's always been my dream job. Haven't done it yet. Not specifically like that. I've done a bit of it, but not specifically that. And what is your life's mission? And simply for me personally, like I say, my life's mission is to leave the world better than I met it, but that's a bit cliche. I can say it more specifically, to develop lives of others, and particularly very young persons, and particularly young men, so that they become exceptional forces on earth. And then while you're taking this course, how will you make sure that you succeed at this course? You have to think about that. That's your question. How will you make sure that you succeed? And I really like people to address that. And then the last thing is to give me 3 main takeaways or goals that you wish this course to deliver to you. So I need you to make a list. When I leave this course, I want this to happen, that to happen. I want this course to deliver these things to me. If it doesn't deliver these things to me, I think it has failed. This is what that question is. So we are going to start with, let me start so we can sort of get introduced to each other. The first person that I see here is Blair Presenti. I don't know if Blair Presenti is here, but if here, then Blair, please, let me check. Maybe I can see everybody who's here.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi, Blair.
Hello. Okay, who am I? My name is Blair Presenti. I hail from the picturesque island of Harbor Island. I was born and raised here. I am 27 years old. Sorry, 28. Lord, I forgot my age. I'm 28 years old. I taught for 7 years, but I recently changed career paths. I now serve as a chief concierge and office manager at Conking Coconut, which is an island concierge company here in Harbor Island. Additionally, I am also the proud owner of Lulu's Rentals, which is a small golf cart rental here in Harbor Island. And I'm also the owner of Lulu's Sugar Rush and Balloonery, where I rent party machines, and I also do balloon decor. What are my skill sets? When I think of my skill set, I think I'm good at customer service, event coordination, and team management. I think those are the areas that I master. My dream job, well, to be quite honest, like many other millennials, I want to be one of the leading businesses here in terms of golf.
We lost. I know we're having power cuts on the island, so hopefully she comes back. Okay. While we wait for her to get back, and she's on Harbor Island, she's saying. So yeah, so hopefully she can get back. While we're waiting for her to come back, let's see if Brittany Clark is here. And
yes, I'm here.
Okay, Brittany.
All right. So my name is Brittany Clark. I am 28 years old. I was born and raised in Nassau. I grew up in Abaco, moved to Eleuthera at some point, back in Nassau now. What I do? I'm currently employed at Rosewood Baha Mar. I I've been a massage therapist and skincare specialist for about 10 years. I've worked at quite a few hotels, so I've always been in the hotel industry. I love dealing with people, so I think that'll be one of my skill sets. I think I'm pretty good at it. My dream job, I'd say probably working in a bank and activity to travel. I would love to just be able to travel someday and, just to enjoy the world and what the world has to offer. Um, I'm taking this course because I would like to venture into something different, as I would like to own properties someday. I think that it would be ideal to take this course, as well as some of the other courses that I've seen on the website. But I just decided to start with this because I also knew Miss McLean. Um, I used to work with her, and she, it was emotional for me, but yeah, she was the one who told me about it, and then we talked about it, and that's why I decided to come in and take the course. Sorry. I will make sure that I succeed by. I know it's a lot of work because she told me already. So I guess lots of studying, lots of reading, and also getting that textbook to kind of assist, like you said, the resources in the textbook. Um, Takeaways, goals. Um, well, like I said, I would love to own properties someday. So I would love to be able to go out there when that time comes to just to be able to manage my properties, to the best of my abilities and whatever I can gain from this course, just to take it with me out there in the real world. I think that's the last
Okay.
point.
Hi, Brittany.
Hi. Who's that?
Okay, thank you very much, Brittany. By the way, I'm going to ask you to, and this is a kind of strategy that I think is important to have in mind. While people are speaking, if you have any questions or that you want to ask of the person, just jot it down, and at the end we'll be able to ask each other questions in case there's something else that you're curious about or want to ask or add. It is a great habit to get into. And I'm going to talk about myself a little bit. So this is how I get to talk about myself in this session. I used to be an incredibly shy person. In fact, in high school, they called me Smiley because I didn't talk to anybody. All they get out of me was a smile. And people today don't believe that's true, but it is true. And when my first degree actually is in biochem, associate degree in biochem. Came out of high school at 15 and did biochem, and I was working at the hospital as a orthopedic assistant. It helped me because you didn't have to do too much talking when you're putting on casts and taking off casts. But when I got convinced to get into the central bank about a year later, when I was 16, by the governor, T. Basil Donnison, I quickly realized that being my excessively shy self was really a liability, and it's something that I really wanted to deal with. And so I found a mechanism to deal with that. And that mechanism initially, I don't know how I got to it, but it was I got involved in theater, which really helped me to work out this my reality, which today I still have. I'm still a very shy person, but I was able to work out, you stand on stage and you're able to be someone else other than yourself. You have to project that persona to an audience, and it's a lot of people. It's helpful when you're on stage, though, that you tend not to be able to see anybody because the bright lights are in your face and you can't really see anybody. But you do have to perform and deliver lines in reaction to other actors that are on stage. And it really helped me to understand how I could project myself beyond my shyness and wear a self beyond my real self and interact with persons. So that's just a little story for you there. But I'm also a person who is very easily retreats into my own mind. So if I'm sitting in a meeting, I get very, very, very easily self-distract. I don't know if anybody else has that wonderful talent. And I developed a system. This is talking about developing systems to deal with your realities. Some people like to treat their realities as if it's a bad thing. And I call them realities. There's nothing bad about anything about you, but there's some things that don't fit certain circumstances. And your job is to find a way to work through that. So for instance, I self-distract. I get bored incredibly easily. So when I'm in any meeting, you give me 5 minutes of listening to whatever, like how you guys are in this class, and my mind is gonna start wandering all over the place, and I'm very creative. So what I did to counteract that, what I do to this very day, whenever I am in anything where other people are talking and other people are needing to keep, I need to stay engaged, I always take something to write on. Always. I always take a pen. And this is what I do. I have several strategies and I use them all. I write down every single word I hear that I don't know what it means. Or every single phrase, anything that anyone talks about that I don't understand, I don't know what it means, I write it down. I've learned that your strengths are in your weaknesses. A lot of people like to ignore their weaknesses. So a lot of people like to pretend that they know stuff they don't know. I don't do that. If I don't know something, I find that it's the most wonderful thing to acknowledge that you don't know, because it gives you an opportunity to know. So I write down everything that I don't know, I don't understand, that people are talking about. I write those things down as notes. I also write down anything that I have a question about. So I write down all my questions. So someone is talking about so-and-so. I find that even if people say you can interrupt me, the tendency is once you interrupt, the conversation tends to veer off and the person never gets to the meat of what they were going to say. So I like people to finish what they're saying, listen. I've always been a good listener because I was shy. And I listen and I write notes. And when they're done, I says, I got a couple questions for you. But I have those questions written down, and it helps me because, again, I'm a shy guy. So it helps me to be able to read the question and ask it, as opposed to trying to formulate it right off the tip of my tongue. So my advice to you in this setting and in any setting where you are trapped in a forum for 15 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, maybe, you want to take notes. It really helps you to pay attention, which is an incredible force in your life. If you can pay attention wherever you are and find a mechanism to make yourself pay attention, you'll be shocked at how successful it will help you to be as a person, to be able to pay attention. And I don't pretend to be Einstein. I'm not good at paying attention, so I make myself pay attention. So you find your way. If you're one of those persons like my mother who could be in any environment, when she walks away, she can tell you every word that was said, and she can remember everybody's birthday and what day was day. And if you were one of those persons, God bless you. But I know I'm not. So you find a way to pay attention. Let's go to Ko in Sweden.
Hi, Mr.
Oh, Blair is back. So
Yes.
yeah, Blair, could you finish up, please?
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Okay, where was I?
You just finished talking about how you liked customer service, And
Yes, I think one of the skill sets that I master would definitely be customer service, event coordination, and team management. My dream job is I want to be one of the leading business persons here on Harbor Island. At this time, like I said previously, I'm running two businesses apart from being chief concierge at Conch and Coconut. And so I want to be one of the leading golf cart owners and balloon artists here on the island, or even in the Bahamas, if the opportunity arises. One of my life's mission, I think I have a wide variety. I have a wide array of life missions, but my main one is to be the best that I can be. I really would like to be the best that I can be in life. And I want to be happy. I want to be at peace. That's one of my a few of my life's missions. I am taking this course because, believe it or not, I was sitting down with my boss and he asked me, what is it that we can do for you? Or what is your goal, one of your goals in life? And I told him, well, I always wanted to pursue a career in property management. And lo and behold, he was like, find a course where you can become certified. And that's how I was able to enroll into this course. And so I have to thank my boss for actually affording me this opportunity. How will I make sure that I succeed? Well, I think that's quite simple, by signing on to the classes, ensuring that I'm paying attention, and retaining all of the necessary information that would allow me to be an effective property manager. Three things that I want to take away from this course is that I want to feel empowered when I'm done. I want to feel that, I know I don't know everything, and we all don't know everything, but I just want to feel confident while I serve in that capacity. I also want to be effective. I just don't want to take this course and, okay, I took it just for taking it. I want it to be applied if ever the opportunity arises for me to serve as a property manager. Thank you. I'm done.
Wonderful.
Hi,
Thank you.
Blair.
Hi.
Thank you. Very wonderful. Let's go to Cohen Sweeting, if Cohen is here. I'm doing this because I have a list of 17 persons that was sent to me, but I know that there are not 17 persons on the call. Do we have a Cohen Sweeting? Okay, let's go to.
Answer earlier.
Pardon me?
He did answer just before Blair.
Yeah, I did. So if Cohen comes back, we'll go back to that. Dinez Fountain. Okay. Gary Duncanson. Georgia Robbins or Robinson, I think. It's Robinson, not Robbins, right?
It's Robinson. Good morning, everyone.
How do you pronounce your first name? Is it Georgia or Georgia? What is it?
Honestly, from primary school, they've called me both. And the teachers often say Georgia.
Okay.
It is really Georgia, but I answer to.
Oh, it's Georgia. Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Georgia, it's all yours.
All right. I was attempting to show my face, but I'm not seeing it with the screen share. Here we go.
There you are. I see you.
Morning. Yes. My name is Georgia Robinson. I am celebrating my 40th year. So it's almost every day is my birthday this year, which is a good and a bad thing. I am currently employed with the Ministry of Education. I am a primary school senior mistress. And one of my duties there was a physical plant. So I'm jumping all over the questions right now. With the physical plant, I've noticed I was tasked with taking care of the building, the maintenance, overseeing buildings, new wings on the campus, the plumbing and everything. And I was like, okay, if I'm doing this for government, I may as well try to do this for myself as a side job, and possibly my escape plan, my exit plan from working as a senior mistress and leaving the school setting altogether. I've been in education for about 16 years now, way longer than I anticipated. And I say way longer because my dream job is to own several boutique hotels. We own some properties on the island, Rose Island in particular, and I've always wanted to open up a boutique hotel with ferries back and forth for that. So that is the dream job. So why I'm taking this course, once again, is I like to be certified and be knowledgeable about what I wish to do, not just enter into something blindly. So that is part of why I am taking the course in property management, and to learn all the facets of property management, not just go in and say, yeah, man, I could take care of that building, or I know what to do. Whereas, certain things, and hopefully that I wish to attain out of this course is to know the various skill sets I need, contact persons, networking, whether I need laborers, building material, building supply persons, plumbers, whichever jobs it may entail. So I wanted to get a bit of knowledge I'm hoping this class will give a bit of knowledge on each facet and go a little bit more in depth to give us a bit of knowledge to say, like I said, if I were to hire a mill worker or a carpenter, I know certain things or the basics to expect from them. If I were to see someone coming in, I have this person, I'm building a pool house for someone, I want to know what to look for, what to expect, how to, and also how to price it. So, so being able to construct certain proposals is what I wish to gain from this course. And how I will succeed at this course is to hopefully be here every week. Because as I said, this is my 40th, and this is actually one of my goals to I like taking on tasks. Every year I do a little project, whether it's project management, whether it's baking, whether it's HR, I just take courses too busy myself. And so this one I want to actually make practical and do something with it, not just for taking sake. And I think that's about it. Everything in a nutshell.
Wonderful, wonderful. I have next on the list, K-Roll. Okay, K-Roll may not be here. Could we go back to Cohen Sweeting if Cohen is probably still not here? All right, let's go to Kevin Moss. That's another name that's here. I'm going to tell you, Kevin Moss. No. Another Kevin Turnquest.
I'm here.
Who is this Kevin Turnquest or Kevin Moss?
No, Turnquest.
Okay, Mr. Turnquest,
Moss, yeah.
all yours.
All right. Hey, great. How are you guys? Who am I? Well, my name is Kevin Turnquest. I'm an accountant, a professional accountant. I'm employed with the National Insurance Board. I've been there for the past 7 years. Prior to that, I worked to various institutions and various, let's say, private and governmental institutions. I think I have a wealth of experience. But as you said, I don't want to be trapped inside just one-dimensional field, which is accounting. I'm sure, I mean, accounting is very diverse, but that it's still collectively a one-dimensional field. And I was very impressed that you said that, the person should be multifaceted and have a multi-stream revenue, wherein if one road, is blocked, he has the ability to go and venture into another road. And I think in this time of my life, I'm in my late 40s, I really want to venture into other things. I'm tired of being an employee. And I think you hit the mark when you said that you never saw yourself as someone who was an employee. You saw yourself as being someone who was contracted out to the businesses and who offered your services, not just as someone who worked for, but someone who actually offered their services to that place. And I really had that same level of thought, because my goal really was to just make sure that I was the strongest person possible in terms of having that diversity of skills. So I never really saw myself as being married to one particular organization. I just really wanted to acquire all the skills possible so that when I had the drive to branch out and be self-independent, I could do that. All right. What is your dream job? My dream job really is to work for myself. I don't want to work for nobody else. And the reason why my cycle really was, I had a 5-year cycle to work for a company, then move on. I really wanted to acquire the skills necessary in order to really work for myself. Sometimes, reading a book is nice, but when you actually do things and be in environments, you learn more. And I think by my diversity of skills, I really acquired a lot of different stuff, to really help me out. And my dream activity really was to enter into, I look at the various fields where I could offer my services, that being an independent accountant or self-contractor. But I saw the field of project management property management to be really a profit field or very interesting field because of what it offers the person, the whole gamut of not being stationary, being mobile, offering assistance not just to client, but also managing your own assets. And that's the whole thing with me. I really want to manage my own assets. I really want to just go into the field, wherein I have my own stuff, triplex, fourplex, whatever have you, and be effective in that field. I know a lady said she wanted to manage a hotel. I mean, that's really an undertaking, but I'm going to keep mine small, where I want to be the owner and a manager and someone who's able to oversee myself owning, diverse small properties. What you call those properties? The Airbnbs and so on and so on, and also just properties, for triplex, fourplex, whatever. Also, hey, all right, what is your life's mission? My life's mission really is to, I don't naive, but I like to make money. I really want to make my life money. My life mission is to be successful and to have the will to do what I want to do and to go where I want to go. I mean, it sounds a bit juvenile, but then again, my life mission really is to be successful at whatever I do and be able to and not be dependent on anyone else for my livelihood. My biggest fear really is someone coming to my desk and say fired. And I realized that it's something that persons really had that in the COVID environment where they always fear for their jobs. And I think persons who had that diversity of revenue stream really had that fear under control because they said, man, if one door closes, another door opens. So I think, I was really, really impacted by COVID and the amount of job losses that appeared in the industry. And I said to myself, man, the best thing to do really is to just open yourself up and just, break free from the umbilical cord of being an employee and be an employer or employ yourself. And I'm taking this course because, as I said, I'm interested in property management. And I'm looking for tools. I'm looking for, to get the right tools and not just to own, to operate those properties, but to be a success in the field. And I think property management really is a big, broad field, and it is huge now because of the outsourced market for hoteling. Everything is now Airbnbs. Everything is outsourced. So right now, I think it's huge where your market is not just limited to domestic clientele, but also international. So it's something that I feel as if this would satisfy my desire, for success in my next phase of my life. Now I'm very driven, and also, as I said, I want to make money. And I because I'm so driven, I think I would be a thorn on your side with regards to questions and being aggressive, and I'm looking for a mentor in the field. And I think you yourself, don't be afraid of latch on to you, because I'm looking at acquiring the full scope of skills, both on the operational and the valuation. I think someone mentioned evaluation, and also the capital raising process. So I'm looking at this being the next phase of my life. All right, and give 3 main takeaways, goals you wish to deliver to you, goals that you wish this course to deliver to you. Well, I mean, one is that I wanted to be a thorn on my side and a sword in my flesh, where it drives me forward to make those career moves, and also I want something that turns on my brain computer. Sometimes when you're in a field so long, it's pretty hard to really turn over to another field, and you need sometimes an impetus or something, or some drive to push you in that direction. And I think doing a certification course really is that push. Not like you're trapped mentally, but sometimes when you actually do a course like this, it seems like it turns the pressure valve on and pushes you in that direction. Okay, I hope people understand what I'm saying. And the other thing is that I'm looking at making contacts, people in the field who I can really network with. So. I was saying, this course will be replete with persons who I can really link up with and network with, not just in Nassau, but in various islands. So I'm looking at a networking angle as well. All right, so that's about it.
Okay, thank you so very much. I missed someone in terms of the alphabetical order. That's I think it's Domika Davis. I hope I pronounced that correctly, but she will get us in order when she comes on.
Yes, a pleasant good morning. I just got the link and came in on the tail end, but I about to step into church, but I definitely wanted to hear as much as I could about the course and about you.
What time are you stepping into church?
In about a few minutes.
Okay.
And my challenge with the course, before I get into my interests and so forth, my challenge with the course is that is offered on a Saturday, and I'm an Adventist, and I was hoping and praying that it would have been offered, or some setup could have been arranged where I could have either listened to the Zoom or something like that on another day, or have another day for the course. And but one of my colleagues who is on this chat at the moment, he said, just log in until listen until you arrive and so forth. So I chimed in because I'm very impressed of what I'm hearing, and I share the experience of a lot who have spoken so far. My name is Domika Davis. I have been working in the property management arena for a good 5 years. I think I was one of them when it first came out. I worked along with H.D. Christie, who basically managed those high-end properties. Some of my clients were like Nicolas Cage and so forth, and I was excellent at it. That was my first introduction of it. I came out of being a manager, concierge manager of Sandals, and my parents, brought me up in the hospitality industry. So that pleasing and going above and beyond, and customer service and VIP treatment, like that was a part of my everyday lifestyle. So it worked very well when I managed the property management department for H.D. Christie. It was like a natural, and I kind of took it to another level where, like I incorporated the things that I like to do in terms of the event planning and so forth, and created my own little, version of it. So I worked along with H.E. Christie for 5 years, came out of the hospitality industry. Currently, I have been out of property management for 12 years. I am currently the marketing and public relations officer for CSB5 Management Company, and that would be all the properties that is owned and operated by Dr. Conville Brown. So that's between here in Nassau, Sunrise, and Antigua. But I always, when you, as somebody mentioned, I'm in the late 40s, and you really sit back and say, do I want to be doing this for the rest of my life? Retirement is in the next 10 so plus years. You need the extra monies because you have children and you want to make sure they're secure. And I keep on coming up, the expenses were growing and growing, and I needed another income. And I always said, okay, I keep on putting it behind me. I need to get back into doing something that I love and something that I could bring in some extra dollars. So it's my goal to actually keep my job as a public relations officer and go back into doing one or two of the large properties, and bringing the extra monies on the side. Like I mentioned, I've been out of the industry for 12 years now. I took a spin and I was excellent and good and I have the references for, the persons that I've managed for properties, Ocean Club, Life of Key, and all around Nassau. But I started a little company when I had left H.E. Christie. I started a company on my own, and it was approved as a property management company because I had the experience. And even though it wasn't a thing back then, because they saw my experience and I had the years with a real estate company, they afforded me the license. But life happened and I didn't keep up with the license and I let the license go. I probably could still venture now. All that was in the plan for this new year. This year was supposed to be me taking this course and reintroducing myself into the property management world, what has changed, so I have the foundation, but I need to build the blocks, get the building blocks to be up to date, as in the things that I may have missed, the things that I may have, not know, the things that I could sharpen my skills on. So that was the main purpose of me seeking out and taking this course, because as of, I don't want to be working for somebody all the days of my life. I want to secure something that I can do on my own and manage for myself. And that property management, because it was so much fun and it was so much relaxed, I had my own free time. I could have managed the properties as I go. I could, do it in the morning, do it in the evening, set my schedule, set my time, money's coming in. I want that again. I really wanted it again. It helped me with the time at, my daughter. I have another daughter. And like I mentioned, I wanted that extra income to balance off my lifestyle today. So yes, the reason why I wanted to take this course is to, one, to gain the knowledge, sharpen my knowledge and skills, and then two, to get the accreditation, because back then we didn't have a property management certification. I would definitely want that accreditation behind my name. Going back into the arena, that would look good with experience and accreditation. And that's the purpose of me wanting to be, to take the course. But the challenge that I was trying to solve, and that was on the plate being solved before the incident happened with the former instructor, was that they were going to offer the class on a Wednesday. So I was happy and elated and willing to be a part, but here is the bump in the road where it conflicts with my Sabbath keeping, and I know I wouldn't be able to do the classes, to be a part of the class.
Yeah.
12 weeks straight,
Yeah.
sacrifice.
Understood. I have a question for you. Maybe we can talk offline. But would starting the class earlier help?
Earlier, as in earlier in the
Early
on
in
the
the
Saturday?
day? Yeah.
or it as an Adventist, it still plays to that fact that it is my Sabbath.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was my, personal part,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
challenge. So
Okay.
later in the
Well,
evening, after the Sabbath would work, but
yeah.
at sunset. But that was my biggest challenge.
Yeah. We chat about. I know. If I'm always. I like challenges. I'm always trying to see if there's a way to solve challenge, even if it's for one person.
I appreciate that.
As long as everybody else can be happy. So we'll have a look at it. I don't know that we can solve this particular challenge, but we're certainly gonna have a stab at it. And the obvious thing is if to do a poll and find out if the students, your other colleagues can suggest another time or another date that may be accommodating. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we can give it a try and see what happens.
Or even the option of taking the Zoom, like when you do, like, let's say, the copy of today's meeting, and then I'll sit at another time and look at it to gain the knowledge and the assignments that I have to do. And then just listen to it at a different.
That's going to be a challenge overall. I'll tell you why, because a lot of what this course is going to be is like persons like yourself actually interacting and contributing to the material. Like a person with your background and knowledge, you will get a lot more out of the on the ground interaction. But we'll see. We'll see. Let's move by faith and see if we end up with a solution. It's all things are possible.
Okay, I appreciate that. I will stay in touch with the office, and
Yes.
we can hopefully they'll update me. But
Not a
thanks
problem.
again, and for those who have heard so far, all the best. And I look forward to being a part of the team.
Okay.
Hi,
All right.
Danica.
So we're down to the sort of last half. I know some of these people are also not here, but we're at okay. We're into the L's. I think this is boy. I'm gonna say it's Latasia or Latasia Carey. She'll have to fix me up on that if she's here.
Good morning, everyone. I know it was my turn when you would have been challenged with the name. My name is Latasia Carey.
Oh, Latasia.
So
Okay,
you were
that's
almost
great.
there, almost
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
I am an accountant by profession. I started out as an auditor with PricewaterhouseCoopers some years back. I'm 44 years old. And stayed there for about 3 years, which allowed my introduction to many industries. I've worked in banking and later on found my niche actually working as the financial controller for the CSB5 management company, same company that Damika Davis also worked with. I've been there now for 17 years. Like I said, I started out as the financial controller. And during my tenure as the financial controller, I've had to fill in for the chief operating officer, which later led to a position that I filled in for over a year. And so eventually, after 7 years as the financial controller, the position became opened and I slid right in. So currently I am the chief operating officer of the CSB5 management company. The management company is responsible for a group of medical facilities, all operated and owned by Dr. Conville Brown. Besides managing his medical facilities, I'm also in charge of his properties, which Tamika would have mentioned. There are many. And so I've been basically thrown into property management by default. And I've been actually working in property management of his properties for several years. What do you do? I think I've covered that. What are my skill sets? I am an experienced accountant. I'm great with numbers. I've been told that I'm a good orator. I'm good at multitasking, and I have been accused of taking charge wherever I go. But I think that has a lot to do with my leadership skill. I am confident. I'm not afraid to take that leadership role. And so I found myself always in charge wherever I go. So I guess it's not an accusation. Where are we here? Why are you taking this course? Like many, looking for additional revenue stream. My kids are getting older, and I think I am apparently. And so I think, it's that time when I need to, like, I think Kevin said it. I'm not tired just yet. Kevin said he's tired. I won't say I'm tired, but I want to start to transition from that role of being an employee to an employer. So that's where I see myself headed. I'm already starting to think about retirement. I always wanted to retire early because I wanted to one day own my own business. So that meant not being an employee for too long. Why are you taking this course? Yes, I covered that. How will you make sure that you succeed at this course? By showing up. I want to show up. Study, of course, and do my best. Give 3 main takeaways. Wisdom, knowledge, understanding on the subject area. I feel like a bush mechanic when, as a property managing these proproperties. And that doesn't mean being a bush mechanic don't mean you're not a good mechanic.
No.
Yeah, it does.
Sometimes they're the best ones. But listen, it's time for me
Can
to
relate
put
to
some
that.
structure. It's time for me to put some structure to this. And I enjoy it. So I figured this would be an area that I can think about maybe retiring into. So that's one of my takeaways. And again, someone mentioned networking. I hope to network and, meet some persons along the way. One of the challenges for me, like Tamika said, I think the course was supposed to have started a month ago, but it's starting now, which I'm happy. But the last 4 weeks, I guess, which would be the important time of the course, would be difficult and challenging for me because those are the times when I've actually have planned my travel out of country for work because I also manage the facility down in Antigua. And so I'm going to see how best I can make this happen. I'm happy that it is an online class. So that would give me the opportunity to consider continuing despite me having to do some traveling along the way. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to see everyone on board. And I'm happy to see that the course is actually moving, going forward despite our DARE lecture. And thank you very much. And hope to meet everyone soon in person.
Hi, Leticia.
Hello.
Okay, this is Lachey Brown.
Hi, everybody. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning. Is the camera able to work or are you on a phone?
Turn it on right now.
Okay.
I have a hair tie on. Please excuse me. My name is Lachey Brown. I am 28 years old. I currently work in the hospitality industry. I've been working in hospitality for about take 8 years. Literally, I was working, and while I was in COB, I was working in sandals, but I am currently now at Bahama. I work for SLS in the restaurant corner as a cook. So, been all over the kitchen. I know it's a big jump from kitchen to property management, but what I've always seen for myself was me going into property management and eventually venturing into real estate and investing in real estate. So with the pandemic happening and, you know, hotels shutting down and all of that reality coming, you know, forefront, I realized that it was time for me to do some research. And me and my best friend, because we also have the same goal, we did some research and I found this course, which I'm excited about because I felt like the market was kind of closed off in the Bahamas, or I just didn't know where to start. So glad I found this course. I have a beautiful 6-year-old daughter. It wouldn't be right me introducing myself without mentioning her because she's my life. And the reason why I want to go into property management is because I know it would be more flexible for me and I want to be more active in her life instead of always having to work shifts and all of these other stuff because it takes me away from her. And like I think Miss Davis said, you know, when she was in it, it was more flexible for her. She was able to schedule her time, manage her time better. And that's something that I am looking forward to. My skill sets. I am a very, 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 very personable person. I love to interact with people. I love to interact with my guests. I'm just that personality. I am also very good at multitasking, and I can say that I'm also a chameleon because it doesn't matter where I'm put. Whether it comes to the kitchen, I also worked in concierge too as well. I've worked office jobs, so it really doesn't matter where I'm placed. I always accept the challenge and I excel at the challenge. So this is something that I'm really looking forward to. My dream job is to own my own company. I want to mesh hospitality, something that I'm passionate about, with property management and real estate in the Bahamas. So it can, you know, when you can look at an industry and see certain gaps and holes in it, and you feel like, you know, we can bring something better. That's what I want to do, and that's what my company's mission is going to be. Well, I think I really covered why I'm taking this course. To make sure that I succeed, I will be here. Whether it's on a Saturday, whether it's on any other day, I will be here. I will be present. I will make sure that I stay on top of whatever assignments that are given out. Listen, this is a determination thing for me because I literally got the email about the course. I registered a few months ago and I got the email on Thursday saying that, you know, call Miss Seymour and it was another name to schedule payment. And I was like, the class starting on Saturday though. What, like, I just get this email on Thursday, but I had to find that money. And one thing I could do is waste my money. I'm going to make sure that I gain everything off of this course. Everything's going to come to me. 3 main takeaways that I want to take away. I really want the networking part of it is very important for me because coming out of culinary, it's a lot of people that would look at you and say, okay, she could only cook. Like literally she ain't good for nothing else. We have a lot of that. I feel like it's so closed off when it comes to thinking about certain, you know, people, they wouldn't look at anything else. They know your consistent job has been in culinary. I've been in all levels of culinary. I've been in management. I just recently took a cook two position because I just wanted to really get my foot back into the door at Bahama after the pandemic because they made my job redundant. So it really was just a survival thing for me. But I've been in management. My position before this was a chef de party at Bahama. So I have all of the, the components. I just want to break free from people actually looking at me and saying, oh, well, she's a chef. She's just a chef. Let's just throw her back in the kitchen. And I want to break free to whereas I can do something for myself and, it be something that I accomplished, something that I built, something that I'm proud of. So networking is important. My certification is definitely important because that has to be added to my resume so they can look past that cook stuff and chef stuff. And then I also, what's another takeaway that's really, really important to me is, I said networking and I said my certification. Definitely all of the knowledge. I need it all. Is another main takeaway that I want to take away from the course because when I enter the industry, I don't want to come half stepping. I want to come full force. I want to go for the luxury clients and all of that good stuff. I want to come in stepping, and I also want to be able to intern or partner with an already established company so I can also get my foot wet inside the field. So basically, I think I covered everything. I'm sorry if I blast y'all with so much energy, but that's just me. But yes, that's it.
Interesting.
Hi.
Thank you very much. Marjorie Thomas is the next name on the list.
Good morning. You all have been seeing this face all morning because probably won't be seeing this as much in the next few weeks. I'll be more without the video. It's such a pleasure to meet all of you. The energy I'm receiving, I'm loving it because coming into this, I was a bit nervous. I've been anticipating this course, like some of you have said, for a few months now. I had the very short pleasure of speaking with Mrs. McLean prior to her unfortunate passing. And I'm so proud to have my text, which was freshly delivered this morning. But who am I? Well, my name again, as I said, is Marjorie Thomas. And based on what I'm about to tell you, you'll probably figure my age. So with all the time that's passed, I started off in banking. That's where I was, and that's who I thought I was. But who I really am. I'm very energetic. I love to travel. I love sports. I've played several of them myself. I've been between different fields out here. So I feel very diverse, as Ian would say. And another pleasure I've had is meeting Ian many, many years ago. While I was in the banking field, I got to know him for a very brief professional time.
True.
So I've been to, what's the place called? Deloitte and Touche, Commonwealth Bank. I went to university in Nova Scotia in Canada. And the reason I went to university abroad as opposed to after college at the Bahamas, I wanted to do something different besides banking. Like some of you, Kevin and Leticia, you're in this similar profession of accounts and finances and such. I wanted to do something different. So I went to Canada to pursue marketing and minor in Spanish. So I speak Spanish and French and Creole, some Italian. And doing that, I figured, this is a good way to broaden my horizons, and the eventuality of being my own boss would come. Well, fast forward, finished university, came back home, tried to start my marketing business. It's not easy. I got started with my first client. Then I ended up working for my first client. So that kind of killed the whole entrepreneurship. Then something else came up where I ended up working for another company with my marketing skills. And that company really broadened my horizons and opened my eyes to all the other things I could do besides just getting caught in being in banking and being in marketing, but to use it all in addition to my travels and living abroad. I lived in Barbados, St. Martin, Tortola, British Virgin Islands, the US Virgin Islands. And all of these places have culminated to bringing me back, as I'm realizing, to where we are now. So after coming back from all those travels, I went further to do the marketing in Tortola, was a directorship to market their resorts. I knew nothing about the hotel industry, but I was fortunate to work here in the Bahamas, which sent me abroad at, what is it called, Harborside. And I was there for a few years and got some great training and was able to move forward and went back 2008. We had the explosion of the financial world where everything went down, keep moving forward. And here I am again, coming back. So about, fast forward, about 5 years ago, I got an opportunity to work at a resort. And here's the funny part about that. We had no idea what I would be doing, but the company saw that I could really bring some kind of advantage to them. And they looked and said, oh, why don't you manage our properties? I was like, okay, I can do that. Managing properties can't be that difficult. Oh, was I wrong? It's not that it's difficult. It's just the challenge of putting everything together. So like Leticia and Kevin and Damika and the rest and Blair, once you have that drive to do something, nothing can stop you. And I was driven. I was driven to get these things done. So I started doing property management, putting the cart before the horse. The course is now, but I've been trying to get this course for the last few years, couldn't find it. I went online, found something in the US that wasn't comparative to what I needed. And thankfully, I got this opportunity to be here today and finding out that Ian Fernando is our lecturer, which is very exciting for me. But with all that said, I was managing properties. I've been managing luxury homes on a private key off of Andros, which is where I just came from yesterday. And like the young lady who just finished speaking, Lachey, she just got the message on Thursday. Same here. I got that message and I was like, oh my goodness, but I won't be there. I won't be in Nassau. So I flew in last night and tried to read this material for today. And hence my nervous energy as you're hearing it now. So what questions am I answering now? What do? I think I just covered that. My skill set, I am definitely very driven. I am very goal-oriented, and I'm very passionate about customer service. I'm passionate about our hotel industry. I'm very excited when our external folks come and enjoy our product. And especially when I'm dealing with luxury or high-end or persons who want to be under the radar, who are very high dollar value, and they see what the Bahamas has to offer. And they keep coming back, like one of you said earlier, and they keep coming back for our services. And I think that's a great skill that I've had. My dream job, it's kind of peculiar. It's a combination of what I'm doing, as well as taking care and helping to develop young children. I usually like to volunteer for children's services or the elderly, but with children, we have so many kids in our country that need people like all of us who are here on this course, who are so driven to do things. They need that guidance. And part of my dream job would be to be able to reach out and have an organization or a program where I can facilitate bringing those kids together. Why am I taking this course? Taking this course, again, like I said, the cart before the horse, the horse before the cart. I've been doing property management, and currently, oh, I forgot to mention, I am finally my own boss, this client who was working with the resort I was at. As I was saying, I was going to leave the company, and they said, hey, why don't you consider giving us a proposal and manage us yourself? So I said, you know what? Let me think about that. Shortly after, I got another message. What are we doing? Where's this proposal? And, you know, I saw it as a calling that this must be it. So I sent my proposal in, it was accepted immediately. And I've been doing that privately for the last 2.5 years while I've been looking for this course. So I'm just hopeful that everything I've been doing is in line with what comes under being a property manager. But it's entailed everything I've done and I added a component to my business, which is property management and concierge services. So I do offer concierge services, which I notice a lot of you here have had an opportunity to be a part of as well. That's why I'm taking the course, and that qualification, I've been looking forward to that, to put that as part of my entrepreneurship business. I think being able to have that, and this is why I asked the question offline, is it going to still be an internationally recognized accreditation? But at the moment, I'm sure that it being local, which is where I am, even though I travel to hopefully other islands besides the current client I have, this would just be an amazing addition to what we offer. How would I make sure that I succeed at this course? Well, I think it's clear that I will definitely make every availability to succeed in getting this course done. I've been looking for it far too long not to succeed. And not only that, I think it's a part of my passion to be good at what I do. And I think having this qualification just adds to that. So there's no question that I must succeed. And I will be traveling. So Ian, this is gonna sometimes be along with my other colleagues. I understand we're gonna be doing projects. So I would need to know a little in advance so that I can make sure I give my best to my team, whoever they are, when we're doing projects. 3 main takeaways. Well, first of all, I would love to continue with all of you. I believe so far I've been smiling because all of you have such amazing stories, and I'm just so humbled to be a part of this project and this part of this team. Networking, I think, is a huge thing in our country and among our people. Networking is important for so many reasons. If I can help in any way, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. And that's how I feel networking works. And it also adds to the flavor of what you're doing. And it adds to your passion when you know that there's someone who shares your values, who shares your dreams, and who's able to say, hey, Kevin or Blair or whichever one, have you looked at this particular place? They can help you with this, or I think you'd be a great fit for such and such. And I think that's where we would do well with each other. So networking, amazing, and I'm looking forward to it. What else we have there? Second thing, networking, finishing this course with success, and goals that you wish this course to deliver to you. Well, I just believe that with the vast amount of experience that I'm hearing and I'm very excited about on this feed, that will just deliver to me exactly what I need to move forward. And if there's even additional levels of this, I'm definitely open to it. So I'm very excited and very nervous about moving forward with this. And so far it's a great read. So I hope to finish the book very soon. And my pleasure again to meet you all. And my name is Marjorie Thomas.
Nice.
Thank you, Marjorie. And for those of you, Marjorie is trying to hide her age, but she's very young.
That's right. I ever said, huh? I'm 51.
Yeah, she's way younger than a lot of folks. And I'll tell you why I can say that, because a good number of years ago, I taught Marjorie, she was a student of mine, and I think it was a financial calculations course.
Yes.
Financial calculations, and that
Good memory.
was some time ago. And she looks younger now than she did then, so she's doing a good job.
Thank you.
Okay, so Melba Lightborn, I'm not sure Melba is here. All right, so we've got a few names left. I think I only see one of these persons there, but I could be wrong. There's Michelle Strong, who I don't think I see here. And there is Odessa Francis. So before Odessa speaks, one of the things I'm going to ask the Institute to do is to send you a poll, because as you say, fortunately, we're doing this online. And we may have one or two, and I'm very democratic. And so even when if and when we do an in-person, it's going to be done when everyone can make it. I won't be that stringent. But I'm going to ask the Institute to send a little poll out, and the question would be for persons to give an alternate day and time other than Saturday that they think that they can do the course. Obviously, it's set for Saturday, so if it turns out that everybody says they can do it at some different time, we just have to see what the results are. But I will warn you, the propensity is that if one person says Saturday morning at whatever is the only time they can do it, then we're going to be almost stuck with Saturday because that's what we announced. But I would love to be able to accommodate. I have a vision that we'll find a solution if we do a poll and everybody says, you know, this is the day and this is the time that I think would be great for me. Or great for the class. So let's go with Odessa. I think I'm getting that right, Odessa. If not, you can correct me, Odessa Francis.
Good morning, everybody. Pleasure to be here. Nice to meet all of you. My name is Odessa Francis. I am a mother of one, an accountant by profession, working in the banking industry. I started off as well in the hospitality industry where Domika and I actually worked together at Sandals when the property first opened. I have always been in the accounting department though. I started out in cost control area and then moved into the main accounting office. I have worked in the media industry at 2 mainstream media houses, and then one of them being a part of a larger group, I transitioned over into banking. So I've been with that group of companies for 15 years. And at the bank, I am in charge of office management as well as I have accounting duties. As the part of my duties that require the administration and office management is really my preference. I have over the years been the planner in the family, the planner of events, the person that organized everything. And to be honest with you, I think that is where my strengths really are in the area of administration, management, and that sort of thing. Sitting behind the desk 9 to 5 is not the most exciting job. Doing schedules in and out every month is not the most exciting job. So I think my strengths are in administration, bringing things together, closing gaps, solving problems, etc. So for me, I'm naturally drawn to property management. I think that for me at this stage of my life is going to be the best transition for me as it relates to a career. This course came up right in time as well because I was watching out for it. I saw it last year and I wasn't in a position to take it then, but it so happens that the bank that I work for, we have been purchased by another bank. So many of us are transitioning out of the company and not moving on with the other bank. So this is a great time for me to take the course, and a career change would be great at this time. if I find a full-time job, I will still take it. But with the property management, I am certain that this is something that I can do as my personal business, as well as carry out other functions. So I'm looking forward to where this leads. My skill sets are management, administration, organization, and along those lines. My dream job, I don't have a dream job. I like Kevin said, I'm not looking forward to working for people all of my life, Kevin and some other persons. And like Kevin said, my vision is to live comfortably. I want to be able to earn sufficient money, have sufficient wealth to be able to travel and to do everything that I want to do and enjoy family and enjoy life while making passive income. So why am I taking this course? This course is right in line with where I want to be later on in life in terms of a career change, as well as moving into something that I really enjoy doing. Even working in the hotel, like I've always admired and always been interested in the night manager and or the property manager roles. I thought those were the cooler roles. So for me, I've always been drawn to this particular area. At work, I manage our properties, I manage our residential property, I manage all of the facilities. So this is just right in line with where I would easily transition to in my career. How will I succeed? Success for me will mean that I will have to fully apply myself. I will have to show up. I will have to master the content of the course, apply myself so that I am successful, and reach out and be involved as much as possible so that I don't hinder my own growth as it relates to the course. And my takeaways, I hope to bridge the gap between property management, office management, and real estate, because one of the things that I've always wanted to do outside of having a job is to own properties. And whether that be commercial properties or residential properties.
Be able to say to her, congratulations and all of that.
Letitia, were you saying something to me? Leticia? Okay, so yeah. Would be, you know, to bridge the gap between those three things when I always wanted to be a property owner. And so that would be one thing. The second thing is that I want to be able to be the best manager that I can be, because I feel like starting here will be a great start, and being able to navigate the whole property management arena with making connections and getting my feet wet in the area. And lastly, of course, I want to be certified in the area so that it will definitely look good on my resume, as well as give me the confidence that I need to move forward. And I think that is it for me.
Hi, Odessa.
Sorry, thank you, Odessa. I believe you're the last person that's on this list who is present here today. But just to be sure, I see two other names. I see a Siobhan Miller and a Shariki Ellis. They're not here. All right, so to round off the day, we're heading towards midday. I'm gonna quickly go through what some of the things we're gonna cover. And and for those of you who have the book already or who don't have the book, we're going to cover the stuff that's in the curriculum. In fact, if you let me share this. Okay, you share. Okay, can everybody see a screen that says brief history of property management?
Mhm.
Okay, good. So this is taken from the table of contents of the book, which is pretty much the curricula for this course. That's how definitely put this book together based on what this course covers. So as you will see, we have lesson 1, defining property management. Lesson 2 talks about what attributes and what competencies, what does a property manager need to be all about? The principles, and again, there's a comparison with the property manager and the real estate agent. And I mentioned before, this is not a real estate course. This is really focuses on property management. What should a property management know? And lesson 3 talks about the ownership and talks about the financial side of things. Not a lot of things in terms of a career, in terms of profession, succeeds if you don't have your wits about the financial side of it. And so we spent some time talking about how to organize ownership, which a property manager needs to understand how to organize owning something. Owning something is, I mean, a lot of us can do it by our wits, but it's really great to know that there's a bit of a science to owning something, helping somebody else to own something, helping yourself to own something, managing what somebody owns. Understanding, and this talks about understanding property management in the United States, in Caribbean, and the Bahamas, understanding what property managers earn, which is important. One of the things I find in our environment as a country is people with skills, and we all have skills. Some of us just try to ignore our skills, but we all have skills. People with skills do not have the faintest clue how to value their skills or how to price skills. So people with skills may even get approached by someone who says, oh, I noticed you do something well. Could you do this for me on the side? And we like, oh, I don't know what to charge you. That is an important skill to have, figuring out what you are worth, not necessarily what you're worth, but what the job you're about to do is worth, and how to charge people. If you don't have the confidence in deciding how to charge people, you can really, really squander a lot of opportunities. The next lesson that shows up here is the operations of property management. So this is a little bit of a heady stuff because we're talking about I think one or two of you, more than one or two, you mentioned your prowess in marketing. And so we're going to rely on those marketing persons in our midst for this section when we are talking about things like public relations and creating a system where people are key to refer you to others. Which is one of the, I'm telling you, I mentioned that I run a publishing business and I've done so for almost 30 years. I have never once advertised. I have never once said to anyone, could you please write a book? I'm going to publish it for you. Every single book I've published, someone has chased me down to do it for them because they were referred to me by someone else. Every single one, without fail. And in fact, I've spent my years actually chasing people away and saying, look, because I have a full-time job, I can only do 1 book a year. So if you really want your book done, I'm working on one right now, you're gonna either have to wait or you're gonna have to get somebody else to do it. And I've had any number of persons. I've had one person wait for me for 7 years to do that book.
Oh,
So the referral thing is a really great thing because you normally when somebody comes to you from a referral, they mean business. Then we go into talking about the obligations and rights of the owner, obligations and rights of the manager, which would be you, and some of you are going to be owners as well, and in some cases, your tenants. So we talk about those obligations and rights. So here we start to touch on the side of property management, which is you got to know some legal stuff. You know, there are rules around things in life. And some of us fly by the seat of our pants, but it's really nice to know what the actual rules are because that protects you and you know what the rules are. And you at least know where to go and find the rules around certain things. We take it a little bit further by talking about the property management agreement, which is an important thing for your profession. So as a property manager, you want to know how to put together an agreement with somebody who walks up to you and says, you know, I got these properties and I'd like you to be the one taking care of them for me. They're not asking you to be the gardener. They're not asking you to do domestic work. They're not asking you to find tenants. They're asking you to do everything, get everything done. And in many cases, the opportunities in the Bahamas are vast. We have lots of properties in the Bahamas owned by persons of great means, and they're not here. And the one thing that will give them comfort is to have somebody who says, you know what, you take charge of my property. You manage my property as if it were your own. You're responsible for everything, and I will put all my resources into making sure that you can do that. If you get those sorts of opportunities as a property manager, you should know how to put together a property management agreement so that you can put into writing what the parameters are of your arrangement with whomever it is that is hiring you to manage their property or properties. And the opportunities are vast. I already hear some people on this call who are managing properties globally. And in many cases, a person who owns property in the Bahamas, who's a high net worth person, is 90% of the time is the kind of person who owns property all over the globe. And if you are their property manager in the Bahamas, it gives you an inroad, and there's some property managers in the Bahamas like this, to say, look, I want you to take care of my properties in Egypt, in Australia, and so forth. So I want to take care of my properties all over the world. So it's really a good thing to understand how to put together and how to understand a property management agreement. Then lesson 7 talks about an important facet of property management, because a property loses its worth if you don't consider its maintenance. And also there are times when many properties are going to require construction. You don't have to be a contractor, but you certainly have to have the wherewithal to manage a construction process. Because if you've got some person who lives in Sweden who is adding on several villas to their property, and they say, look, I'm not coming to the Bahamas to do that. You're responsible for making sure my villas get added on. You're gonna have to run a construction project, and you're gonna have to have the wherewithal to manage everything about it. Managing, negotiating leases. And this is where you kind of, this is highly done by real estate agents, by lawyers, and by other persons. And I know the guys in the real estate industry sometimes act as if they're the only ones should be doing leases, but it's not true. A lease is an agreement between two parties, and anyone can manage and formulate a lease. A property manager just needs to know all there is to know about how that's done. You don't have to do it. There's all sorts of facets of property management that you don't have to do. And in some cases, I always advise people, if you find you're really not that good at something, then you get somebody else who is to do it for you. But you got to give it a try and see, at very minimum, you've got to understand a lease, because the lease is the agreement between the owner and the user. And if you're the manager, you've got to know what that says and understand how it works. Then we go on to 9, where we talk about managing reports. Very, very important thing, something that we're not good at in this country. And I'm happy to hear that we have so many accountants, because they will tell you it's one thing to do proper financial accounting, but who cares if you don't get reports on what's happening? At the end of the day, people who own things want to know what is happening. Send me a report, send me something that I can trust. Whether it's all figures, whether it's graphs, whether it's a written report, you as a property manager need to start developing this thing where you want to inform the owners and the tenants of what is happening. This segment also talks about understanding insurances and managing risk. Risk management is a huge portion of running any business today. Because when you run businesses, especially in the Bahamas, there are risks to consider. That what if this goes wrong? What do I have planned to do? What you don't want to do is keep getting caught with something going wrong, and things will go wrong, and you had nothing planned. You're reacting and you're jumping up and down and going nuts, trying to figure out what to do. You want to have a system where you are proactive and kind of figuring out, if I'm doing A, it's possible that B could go wrong. And if B goes wrong, then I could do C and D. And this is what it's going to cost me to do C. And this is what it's going to cost me to do B, D. And this is what I can do to prevent A from going wrong. That has to be a part of your makeup as a property manager. The next segment that we go into, and we're not necessarily going to do these in the order that they're in, by the way, is talking about somebody on the call earlier kind of talked about a number of persons talked about customer service and customer relations, and that is incredibly important. At the end of the day, what you do in life tend to involve people. But I will tell you, the property management arena doesn't tend to involve people, it involves people. That is it. It says property management, but properties are owned by people, properties are used by people. And at the end of the day, both sets of persons need to be made happy, and you're the one in between that's going to be delivering the happiness. And so we spend some time talking about that. How do you wow tenants and even owners? And how do you reach prospects for your business? Then the other thing that we need to talk about is professionalism and ethics. Something that some people forget about. Again, we're talking about customer relations and customer service, but there's this thing called professionalism. How not just to do what you do, but do it in such a way that everybody walks and say, wow, that is a professional. And a professional is not necessarily something that there's some of us, or some people who are able to act like a professional. And there's some people who they are, without having to do anything, they are a professional. But either you act like a professional, or you just in your DNA to be one, but in this field, you have to be a professional and you have to know what ethical behavior is. And then the last thing we have on the list is to talk about trends. And again, whenever you're in any field, you have to be thinking about when things change, if they change, how do I fit in? How do I remain viable? I think Odessa was the last person who spoke, and she spoke about how the bank that she's in is contracting, and people are having to face decisions about what happens to them next. I remember in the earlier days of banking, we had thousands of financial institutions in Bahamas. I think the number is over 6,000
Yeah.
in the Bahamas. We're down into the hundreds now. I think it's 234. And every time you turn around, that number is getting lower and lower and lower. So there's an indication that that industry obviously is getting very small, and the persons in that industry need to be thinking seriously about how to repurpose themselves. I would suggest everyone in banking be thinking about how to repurpose themselves and do something else. Okay, so that's it for me. That's in a nutshell covers some of the things that we're going to cover. I certainly would also say, as I said at the beginning, we're also going to cover what you want to cover. So if there's anything that anybody says, I want to know more about this, then we just say so, and we'd find a way to cover that. We want to cover the things that are important to the group of persons that are here as a group. There's a reason why we have this group. We don't know what that reason is, and so let's take the blessing that we have of having each other and learn from each other and influence what it is that we learn. So, there's some things that are here that we may not even have to talk about at all. And that could be driven by the group saying, like, I don't want to hear about that. Could we speak more about this and that? Quite flexible that way. All right, so now that we're gone through what we said we would go through today, I want to end by, I reiterate too, I'm going to ask the Institute to send a quick survey about the date and time that might be best for everyone, and we'll just do that because this is pretty much online, and I think we might be able to come up with there's never, once you have a bunch of people, there's never an ideal date and time. I personally would prefer to be doing something else on my Saturday, but there might be another day where somebody else prefers to be doing something else. So we'll find out from you, and I'll let you know what we come up with as an ideal date and day of the week and time of the day for everyone to do this online course. What's the other thing? The book. Now you must have the book, so it's not an option. So you must have the book. So please make arrangements with the Institute to have the book, if nothing else. And we will take it from there. Now, let me look into the chats and see. That's Marjorie. Okay. All right. Wonderful. So yeah, this last bit of time, whether it takes a minute or it takes an hour, is up to you. I'm going to open the floor to any questions that we have for me or for each other. Any suggestions, any comments from anyone. I would ask that what we do is there's a raise hand thingy in WhatsApp, I think. Everybody knows how to find that. And we've lost a number of persons. We don't have a lot of persons left on the call.
There's a raise.
So for those who are left, if you have any questions, queries, comments, let's use the next couple of minutes to do that. Marjorie.
Okay, I
see
don't
that?
see that particular button, but old school, I'll raise my hand.
Yeah.
So first question, what would be the setup of your assignments? Would they be,
I'm happy that you said that because I have one for today. I was gonna email it to everybody, but I probably need to give it to you now as well. But I do have one for today. It's just, I know you're gonna have the jump because you're here, which is a good thing. That's presence is always powerful.
yes.
But you asked, let me let you finish asking the question and make sure I get it.
No, you just answered it, so I'll get to see that. And
Yeah. Well, let me tell you this. You likely will have an assignment given to you every class. I'm sorry, but it won't be troubling, I promise. But it is something to make sure that you're engaged and that I can assess certain things. And I'm open, so I'm going to tell you what I'm assessing. I'm going to assess your ability to write, because you have to write, you have to be able to communicate to people. I'm going to assess your ability to comprehend questions and answer them. And that's an important part in the field that you're in. When people ask you stuff, you're going to understand what they're asking you and answer them. I am going to assess your ability to go out and find information and make it your own. That is very important. That even when you know something, you have to pretend you don't know and go out and find information and make it your own and reveal it the way, have the confidence to say, this is what I think. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about having the confidence to say, this is what I see, and I'm going to tell you how I see it. So those are the kind of things I want to evaluate on a week-to-week basis. And the reason for that is that people improve. We all are going to improve, and we all improve when we get feedback and say, look, this is how I see it. And then you get a chance to go back and forth and improve the way you do things. So you get an assignment every week. Aside from that, there will be one or two based on, there'll probably be a group assignment that we do online. Nothing too big, but it gives a chance for people to network and to work together. Then I'll change up the group and have groups and have totally different groups and have persons do another group project near the end where hopefully, or some other point, hopefully we can do an in-person presentation at some point. But we'll do a poll again to find out when that might be best to do for everyone.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions, comments? Again, your question could be to anyone. I'm gonna come back to Marjorie after Odessa. Odessa, could you tell everybody else how to find the raise hand thing?
Okay, once you go to reactions, just click on reactions and you will see where you can clap for somebody, give them.
Where do you find reactions?
Sorry, right at the bottom of your screen, you should see record then reactions. So you can raise your hand, lower your hand, give somebody a clap, rejoice with somebody, etc.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay. So my question, is there going to be a final assessment for the course? Like,
oh yeah, this is a certification course.
Right.
I should touch on this. This is important. This is a certification course. So there is a final assessment, which is worth 60% of your overall grade. I'm being nice because it really should be 70, but I believe that we will work hard enough during this semester that the other 30% that you get from the other assignments would really be meaningful. But that's 60% of your grade will be in that final 3-hour exam. Now, I think in the past, Ms. McLean has had it as an open book exam. I'm telling you, if it's going to be an open book exam, again, it's going to be very difficult. It should be. But I would say to you that you would be prepared if you prepare.
Sorry, in addition, what format is that assessment going to take? Is it going to be like multiple choice questions or essay type questions?
Thank you. It will be a combination, you know. It will be essay questions. There are a few computations in property management. For instance, you would need to know how to compute the rate that you want. Say you charge you have a property, sorry, and I'm thinking about 5 things at the same time. Let me think about one thing. So you have a property and you're renting it on behalf of someone, whether it's you or an owner, and this is a high-end property. So someone's paying $20,000 a night to stay at this property in Lyford Key, and you want to figure out how much money do you make from that. You're going to have to use a computation to do that. And there are going rates for that, 10, 15% or whatever it is of the cost, whatever it is. The person may have to pay a deposit to do this. And they may have to pay a deposit for things that they want you to do. So for instance, if this person wants you to arrange transportation, if they want you to arrange food and entertainment and all sorts of things, then you probably need to arrange a rate for that and a deposit for that. So you're gonna have to do some computation. So essay questions, short essay questions. We don't want you to spend, it's 3 hours. You can't spend, doing a 500-word essay. So it'd be short essays or short answers. But they will be fairly challenging. There'll be a few computations, and there'll be a section of multiple choices, true and falses, and those type of things. But the whole thing will not be multiple choice.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Getting in touch with you.
Okay.
Are we just limited to the course, or can we have?
No.
you
I'm available at all times. When I'm sleeping, I retired earlier this year, so I let everybody know what my habits are with my phone. I spent globs and globs of time tied to my phone when I was working, and I made a conscious decision that I was making a U-turn. And my U-turn is this. My cell phone is placed on a table downstairs as if it's a house phone. I do not carry it around with me. If I go in my vehicle, I put it in the glove compartment and it stays there. So I am not the easiest person to reach unless I'm downstairs and hear the phone ringing. But I guarantee you that if you call me, I will call you back. If you WhatsApp me, my watch actually buzzes every time I get a WhatsApp. But if you WhatsApp me, I will definitely answer you. If you call me, I will always call you back. If you send me an email, that's a little more dicey because I get literally like almost 100, 200 emails a day. And so your email could get lost, but call me anytime. If I'm sleeping, I will not answer you. I go to bed fairly early because I wake up at 4:30 every morning. So I'm not up at 2 in the night. So don't call me at 2 in the night. I'm going to think it's one of my sons. I have 3 sons in the US and 1 here. And if I get a call at 2 in the night, I'm going to think it's an emergency. But I do try to I'm normally asleep by 10 because I do wake up at 4.
Okay,
I'm gonna ask the Institute as well to put us in a WhatsApp group in case persons, so we can do that thing as well, the WhatsApp group thing. So in case persons want to have conversations around anything in that group, we could do that as well.
So are you going to give us your contact here or?
Yeah, let me do that now. My contact, I was going to send that with the email I was going to send all of you, but my contact is obviously is a 242 number. It's 557-1162.
Okay.
And my email address, you should all have because you would have gotten an email from the institute that had it, but it's I as in Ian, B as in boy, and Fernanda@gmail.com.
Perfect.
Now, somebody has a contact, I mean, maybe the Institute does. I'm looking at the list that they sent me, and I noticed that Blair, Blair's here. Blair,
Yes.
Blair, they don't have a number for you, a cell number for you in this thing that they sent me. So could you email that to me or send it to me or whatever you want to do so I can get an email, a cell number for you. All right, so if there's no one else with any questions, comments, sorry, Marjorie, your hands are still raised. You still have more?
Oh, no, how do I get that down now? Just click it or go back to reactions?
Go right
Wait.
back to reactions.
Oh,
Okay, are you adding more to it on?
lower hand. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh, Jesus.
that's okay. I got you. So for everyone on the call that's left on the call, I'd like to thank you for your tenacity being here today. We may have, obviously, we have some persons who are not on the call today be added. I am not going to spend our time in the future doing this. We gotta go fully into the course. But so we're gonna have to find another mechanism to find out more about the colleagues that we're gonna have join us who are not here today, because it's nice to get these stories that we got today. Probably have people do it in writing so that they can share it with us. And we may have a few, I don't want this group to be too big. The number currently is around 18, and I think in my mind, although it's online and we're not sharing airspace, just actually having to share each other, it gets a bit unwieldy when the numbers get too large. So hopefully the numbers are at least in the 20s. I think in the past, we've had classes that were so large that they had to be split into groups that were each of 20 something. So we don't intend to have that. All right. Thank you very much for your time. Look out for the little survey, and I look forward to spending the next 11 or 12 weeks with you. And you take care and have all the best of time until we meet again. All right.
Thank you. Take care,
Thank you
everybody.
so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Next
Have a
week.
great day, everybody.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Likewise.
Good day, everybody.
Bye.
Enjoy your weekend.
All of you do the same.
No, I had it off. I don't know why you forget that.
To buy the pipes in the storage?
Yeah, you look at the prices. Oh, they need a doctor for that too? They close at 1, you might could go get it.
Oh, because they close at 12.
No, they said they close at 1.
So just maybe, yeah, he should. Because he knows what he needs. Because he tried and he could do it.
That's all right.
Close now, close now.
Let's go, it's quarter after 12. It's quarter after 12, let's go.
Let me go here and get this.
Yeah. Nice group of students. Carries all. Yeah. For the sun? There's the food today, it ain't half of the turn to be rails. They sell it.
Saturday. And the time is very short. She could have come from the economy as well. But she did, she short. That's it. I mean, she can't marry.
Okay. Pardon? Oh, yeah, I got the key. Hey, come back.
Well, this is what I said. You send him pictures. You send it,
That's
send it to
true.
him.
That's true. Didn't get to that.
Put everyone right there. Everyone right. Yeah. Okay.
You got one going off to the next. Next one will be strong. I was looking at this valve, but it looked like the valve gasket coming out. Some of these screws is even good. That cut on this one. Wow. I mean, we got one, right?
So this ain't no good.
Well, I don't know how, but I can feel like that. I could probably open it up. And check it, this coming up. I ain't noticed cover. I noticed that I'm squeezing it just now. You know, that can change at the same time. But that coming up like that, that's like that. I cut, you see, the gas getting all the way, stop right there in there. So it slip over, you see.
You did every guy back with gas up?
Oh, well, one. So yeah, one. That's really hard to see.
It still don't work? Something else wrong?
He's the son of the brother. You can only buy one, right?
Huh?
You can only buy this one, right?
Yeah, only buy one. But I said, but I wasn't sure it's gonna work. If it work, I'd go back and buy the next one.
Yeah, this one, well, we still ain't sure what's going on. The valve definitely got an issue in my opinion, but that might be the one, that might be the problem, or maybe one of the problems. But the point is, this needs to change because you pay for this and this ain't no good. It's a whole, it's busting. Now, I don't know if they can avoid the warranty or if you just open the short and you can tell them it was split and it was clean over like that.
Try to receive.
Because you purchased it, I think you both should go up.
Okay, you remember that?
Yeah,
I didn't know you.
you know me like that, but at least you was the one who purchased it initially. And you didn't recognize this problem until you started to go put the pump on. You saw this piece of rubber point poking out and then you decided.
Well, it wasn't me, because I wouldn't know what I'm doing. But that's what we put it back in the box and that's out there. You might just be lucky enough that they ain't gone yet.
Call him, boy.
What the fella name is? So you probably ain't answer the phone now. this here.